whether it's pronounced buskar or busker, we're all going to learn the true definition of that. But as I understand it, it's a street musician, a street performer. A busker could also be a magician. I think it's not limited to music. I think it has to do with people who are either doing something in a non-paid, non-ticketed thing on the street, all over the world. I had this idea. I used to bring stuff out in the plaza here and schlep it. And, you know, for a musician to carry this much, I'm not a handicapped person, but I have a lot of people approach me, especially in the early days. I didn't have the sides on it, so they presumed it was a handicapped chair and I must be a handicapped person. And I think I might have lost some sympathy tips when I tried to move away from I didn't want to be projected as handicapped, but it was almost expected if someone saw somebody. So I tried to disguise it as much as possible. And I'm sitting on the speakers, and the amplifiers and the mechanics and the batteries are all contained in here. So once I got it down, I thought I could just roll it out onto the plaza here. And also, if I'm in a situation where busking is not allowed, I thought I could just drive it around, and what I do with it as I'm riding around is, nobody says you can't play, it just says you're not supposed to play for money or something. So I figured if I win, and if people want to give me money, that's their business. The most important thing is I feel I'm out here giving something away, and it's nice when I get something. I mean, I'm ready to receive. But the beginning is I'm not paid to show up here. It's a volunteer experience. So it's taught me that often giving something sets one up to receive without making that the intention. So I think one thing I've learned is that by going out and playing for free, I'm well taken care of. And I have a lot of people. There was a man came up. It feels good every once in a while to give a CD or two away. I'll get kids who'll come up and they'll like it, and I can give them away. They don't cost that much to produce, so it's a gift that I can freely give. You may have gathered what I last played is like the Harp on, a little more intense and rhythmic, and I even have percussion with me on that album. This is very more laid back and chill, and that it'll put you to sleep, or I did it to get massaged by. I'm not sure what they're doing over there. I hope everybody's still alive. But I was just going to show you, if you want the origins story, we'll give you the origins of what it is. Yeah, it's kind of funny, the gate, you can see it's a little bit leaning, but I've had several trucks hit it, and then I patched it up, put it back, patched it again, and so now it's sort of where it's going to be. One thing though, gotta check this out. It was kind of a cool, wow, it's like an interesting idea. They're set into concrete, and I realized later it was like, if I had them, I could always make something out of it. It was just kind of a cool accident. I love how things happen that that's a part of my artistic process. It's a lot of what it is just you're messing around with it, and something happens that you weren't imagining happening, and turns into being something and that inspires you. Well, let me add this onto that, and then that takes you there. So I'm always amazed how much of it is serendipity or just having it unfold to yourself while you're doing it. I was a monk in a religious organization when I was in my 20s. And the guru was a very clever fellow. He was a shyster, but he was clever. He had us at a silent ministry in San Francisco. And the silent ministry was we would go work in the finest restaurants and all throughout the city, make as much money as possible, and bring the tithing home to the, and put it in the bowl at the temple there. And so I learned to be a very fine waiter at a young age. So for about 10 years in my 20s, I was a waiter in San Francisco, Beverly Hills, Palm Springs, here in Santa Fe. It helped start this house. I could make a little bit of money and come and put that into it, go back. So I would work a few months out of the year and return, and kept that cycle up enough years to get this house sort of up and going. The little 47 Metro here, buried in the hill here, the little house that built off of it was a kind of an organic mushroom that just sort of popped up there. I didn't plan it, I didn't do it even. In fact, I kind of left one winter and came back, and a house sitter had done this, or a portion of it, and it kind of got added to, and the bus wasn't moving, and so it just kind of got landlocked in there. But that's where my son was born. It was about the 7th year of the house I met Lyra, the lady that I had the children with, who was the band of Luscious Music. She and I finished out the interior of the house, and then began our musical career together, and it took off, and I hadn't had to go back to work. So I'm grateful for the monkhood thing led me into this life of service. So that's something I got to be exposed to, that this guru called it, your silent ministry, give of your service. And he was correct. Of course, he was the one who collected all the money and did very well by it. However, I learned a good skill in a profession, and also learned that giving and giving service is something we all want to do. So my service gets to be the music. So, if I didn't do music, I just want to do something that made me feel the way the music does, and having something that feels of service, that I'm providing something. But this I feel pretty good about, and like I really have something I can share. And although it's not in a great state to show you, this was the traveling gypsy stage for numerous years. But it was kind of a trip. If you look inside, it had stained glass ceilings and velvet backgrounds, and we'd really deck this out. These doors all raise up all the way around. So it was a 300 or 180 degree thing when we were inside of it. Someday we'll go back on the road. I just got tired of my music being more work than it was playing. So touring is fun, and we did well, but it just was arduous, So this little thing I do on the Plaza, I like it. I'm set up in 15 minutes and I'm done. I feel like I'm played. When I play my music, I get to be played. Art is just expressing, the nature of what you are. So somehow when I see that this house got to be that once I got into it, it just started playing me. I didn't know I was gonna do this or add that, or a lot of it was organic, doing it in process. And I got to learn how once I surrender or just get out of the way, things happen,